Hi. Um, Sorry for not uploading in a while. I have been like thinking about uploading, but for some reason, I haven't really done that. I'm sorry. um, I haven't really found a book yet that we can that I can read, but yeah, like instead, I'm going to like kind of review another book, which just so happened to be Children of Dune, or book number 3 in the Dune series. And this bad boy came out in. Let me just check. Can I? Yeah, this guy came out in 1976. 1976. So, yeah, let me just read on the back here what it's about. Book 3 in Frank Herbert's magnificent Dune Chronicles, one of the most significant sagas in the history of literary science fiction. I was having a strong cue writing that. Anyway, the Children of Dune are twin siblings Leto and Ganima, which, if I remember it right, Ganima means like preparing for war or something like that. And it's like a name that brings like bad luck. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's a quote unquote bad name. And yeah, I don't really like in the second book, like in the end of the second book. I must spoil a little bit here, but yeah, in the end of the second book, um, no, Paul names his like the there's this like Paul becomes a dad, and the when Paul name like give these kids names, he chooses Leto the second and Ganima. Why? Like technically, it would be Leto the third because it's all explained in the end of the first book. Like it's all complicated, but yeah, it will be. It's a little bit complicated because I don't really want to spoil too much of the first and the second book, but yeah. Anyway, the Children of Dune are twin siblings Leto and Ganima Atreides, whose father, the Emperor Paul Madib, yeah, that's a thing that also will be explained, like towards the middle of the first book, or no, towards like the end of the first book, and it's a huge part in like the second book, because yeah. Anyway, the Emperor Paul Madib. Oh boy, this is a bunch of spoilers here. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna start over here. The Children of Dune are twin siblings Leto and Ganima Atreides, whose father, the Emperor Paul Madib, disappeared in the desert wastelands of Arrakis 9 years ago. Like their father, the twins possess supernormal abilities, making them valuable to their manipulative spoiler, but making them vulnerable to their manipulative aunt Alia, which we don't like. Alia's a huge bitch, but she's like, who rules the empire in the name of House Atreides. Facing treason and rebellion on two fronts, Alia's rule is not absolute. The displaced house, the displaced house Corino is plotting to regain the throne. The fuck? They didn't? Or did they? Wasn't that Jessica's like proposal to do the thing there? That did not come across as like a regain of the throne thingy. What? That's some bullshit. No. like okay, I've read this book like once already. I've written down some bullshittery in this book. I've noted where it's some over like where it's some bullshit. Uh, I don't know if I like. Anyway, it wasn't explained why. Like, okay, in the book, like in this book, they like convinces one of the like they convince Duncan Idaho to like take Jessica to the house Corino. I don't remember exactly where it was. Like I think it was somewhere on Dune. I'm not really sure. I don't think they were very clear with that. He just takes her to House Corino, and like I can't remember this wrong, but I don't think there was a like explanation to why they took Jessica there. And like sure, they kind of threatened like Duncan, but like to take her there, but I don't think it was very clear to like why they did that. Like I can totally have missed this thing, but there was nothing. Like I don't remember shit about this thing being like, yeah, we're going to take the throne away from like Alia and blah 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 blah. Like Jessica just started to like like the whole time they were there. Like Jessica trains this dude who we later find out is like family. Like they're like cousins to like this dude is like a cousin to Leto and Ganima, which I did not know. I don't understand this, but like it's they didn't say this in the book. This is some bullshit. This is lies. Anyway, facing treason and rebellion on two fronts, Alia's rule is not absolute. The displaced House Corino is plotting to regain the throne while they, well, the fanatic Fremen, I still don't know if I pronounced that right. It feels like I pronounced that wrong, but it's literally like spelled Fremen. So like I'm pronouncing it like woman, but with Fremen. Anyway, while the fanatical Fremen are being provoked into open revolt by the uh, enigmatic, I can't pronounce that either. Like, as I've said, English is not my first language, and I don't know all the words. I'm sorry. So, like, anyway, it's spelled. I mean, ENIGMALATIC. Anyway, while the fanatic Fremen are being provoked into open revolt by the enigmatic figure known only as the Preacher. Alia believes that by obtaining the secrets of the twins' prophetic vision, she can maintain control over her dynasty. But Leto and Ganema have their own plans for the visions and their destinies. Like, yeah, that's what it stands here. And let me just say, what? No, but to be honest, I found this book quite boring. Like, it was just like it wasn't going anywhere until like close to the end of the book. Like it wasn't like going anywhere. It was just standing there, like, okay, let's go, but just stands there. If you know what I mean. It was boring. Like the second book, it was a bunch of bullshit in that. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened in that book, but at least it was going somewhere. At least it was going somewhere. I should. Oh right. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little bit different. And I don't really know. I feel like I'm going into like a cold or something. Hopefully, it has nothing to do with the virus or anything like that. Like, but yeah, I've been feeling a little. I've been feeling like I've been going into a cold. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, like the second book, it did like a complete 180 from the first book, and like, okay, the second book, it's like it's been a jump between the end of the first book and and like the start of the second book, and it's a jump on like 12 years, I think. Yeah, 12 years. And during that time, like, I don't want to say what the fuck happened, because like I'll probably be reading this book here, but like Paul did a completely 180. And if they like if the people of this planet worshipped Paul like in the first book, like in the second book, boy, like this is some Charles Manson type of shit here. Like, it's almost like I'm worried. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but that's something wrong. I don't think that's how we. No. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed because we got introduced. Hey. I'm sorry, it was my little brother. Anyway, but like in the first book, we're introduced to this Paul. Paul, this 15-year-old Paul, and this book takes place over like the course of 3 years. So it goes from 15-year-old Paul Atreides to 18-year-old Muad'Dib, and yeah, it's and during this period, it's like, yeah, it's we get to know this guy. We get to know what he stands for, and what he's doing. He's helping the Fremen get he's defending, helping them defend themselves against the Harkonnens. Yeah, we get to know the tactics of what he's doing and why he's doing them and blah 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 blah. But at the start of the second book, during the second book altogether, he does a completely 180 and we don't get an explanation to what happened during the 12 years that this time skip was. We get no explanation to what happened for him to go completely bonkers. Like I Frank Herbert, why? Can we get an explanation? Dude, you don't go from point A to point B without something happening. You don't. No, you just don't. Paul, in the first book, Paul did what he had to do, and he became this he was this okay. On Dune, there's I don't really remember if I came to that point, but in the books, in the first book, they talk about there being a prophecy on Dune, that there's this guy who has the powers of a Ben Gesserit witch, which in that case would be Paul's mother Jessica, and this guy will come and help them against the Harkonnens, which terrorize this planet. And Paul happened to be the guy the prophecy speaks about. And for a 15-year-old, that's a bit much. They praise him like a god, which is I can recognize that being a lot for a 15-year-old to take in, says I as a 17-year-old. But anyway, it's it's a bit to take, but he's pretty good at taking it. I don't know if it's because of the training his mother gave him throughout his life. I don't know when she started training him, but I guess it's pretty early, because I know they talk about this Ben Gesserit training, special training, and it needs to start at a pretty early age for it to kind of come easily, more easy at least. Which I guess. But anyway, he takes it pretty good, and he doesn't show any of the things that we find out in the second book. We doesn't see any type of any trace of it. We don't know where where this stuff started, this behavior. But from 17 to 18, he takes on this really big leader role fine, and he does a good job, especially for that young, especially for his young age. Like, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff he did. And like, yeah, he did it fine. Like, he accepted the role. Like, he just accepted it. Like, yeah, this is my situation now. These people need my help. And of course I'm going to take it. Like, I want to help these guys. And then 12 years later, this guy is out, like, literally obliterating planets, literally killing off hundreds of people. Which is quite literally. What happened? We don't like, get an explanation to what the fuck happened. This guy goes out there, like, obliterating planets, Star Wars style. Like, Darth Vader type of shit. Death Star. What? What could possibly have happened during these 12 years that turns this guy from a good leader to fucking Darth Vader? What? Can somebody explain that to me? Because I don't understand. I don't understand. And he's praised for it. He has a whole ass religion. People follow him blindly. And he's supposed to be the good guy. Am I missing something here? I must be missing something. I must be missing something because I don't see. I I don't see. What? This is what. Like, okay. But yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't I don't get how this dude went from a fairly, like, from an 18-year-old fairly good leader to like a 30-year-old Darth Vader. And yes, I'm referring to him as Darth Vader because that's the only thing I saw during that book. Also, like, from the moment, like, I realized that, bro, this dude, he have obliterated, like, he has literally obliterated so many planets. I don't know. They never, like, they don't specify like how he does it, like, because they're like, say, like, the conversation where this was brought up wasn't even necessary to the story. It didn't bring anything. Like, okay, the only thing it brought up was, like, the only, like, fairly important information it brought up was like, yeah, like, this is so far in the future that they don't even like, there's there are so few that remember our time here on planet Earth. We're so far in the future in these books that, like, yeah, they don't, there's just a few that remembers our time here. But a weird thing that like also was brought up, like, these books, like the first and the second book, didn't come out, like did come out like a few, like pretty, like fairly soon after like World War II. I think you see where I'm going here. Hopefully you see where I'm going here. And they bring up people like Genghis Khan and Mustache Man. I'm not really sure if I can say his name on YouTube. But yeah, they bring and refers to them both as like, what was it? Oh Christ, I can't remember what the hell they referred to them as, but like something Lord maybe, or wait, I'm gonna check what the hell they call them, but it made me very uneasy. Hold up. I have the second book here. It's fairly like thin. Where was it? Hold up, I'll be right back when I find it. Yeah, so I found it. Okay, my liege makes a joke, Corba said, voice trembling. The jihad has brought 10,000 worlds into the shining light into the darkness, Paul said. Will be 100 generations recovering from Muad'Dib's jihad. I find it hard to imagine that anyone will ever surpass this. A barking laugh erupted from his throat. I imagine it's kind of like All Might stuff, but yeah. What amuses Muad'Dib? Stilgar asked. I'm not amused. I merely had a sudden vision of the Emperor Mustache Man. Emperor. Okay, and when did this book come out? 1969. 69. Anyway, and when did World War II take place? Let's just make a quick Google research. Two and World War II ended September 2nd, 1945. So this guy came out with this book like 20 years after World War II. That's pretty fresh from that. Like, it's still like, am I the only one uncomfortable with calling this guy emperor? I don't know if I'm overreacting, but that just feels wrong. That just feels wrong. I'm probably overreacting, but no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. No. But yeah, anyway, back to this book. Yeah, like, yeah, in this book, like, Paul's mostly not present, and it's about his children, Leto and Ganima. These two had kinda an like these two were like conscious before their actual birth, which is similar to Alia's situation. She's like, she was conscious before birth, and that was due to something that happened like with Jessica, as a type of poison she had to take, which affected the child who she was bearing, aka Alia. And this happened to Paul's children, kinda. Um, his side piece, which was kinda his real wife, but at the same time not. It's hard to explain that. It will be explained in the second book. But yeah, his side piece got pregnant, and they were like secretly giving her like this thing that would like kind of abort the fetuses, which in a weird way like made them pre-conscious, which I don't really think makes sense. I mean, Alia became like pre-cautious due to this magical type of poison that comes from the sandworms that lives on this planet, which kind of makes sense because it's some sort of substance that may like it may it helps like people. I think kind of like Jessica. I've understand it as, but like yeah, people like Jessica come into this like kind of like meditative state where it like where they can like mind travel like back in time. I think it was. I don't really remember exactly, but yeah, it's they help them into this kind of meditative state, and that affected the baby in a way. And yeah, like that may, at least to me, that makes a lot more sense that than just being precautious due to like this abortional like thing like that you eat, because like in that case anyone could like be pre-conscious and get some shit from that, wouldn't it? Like I can understand. I can understand this like completely wrong here, but wouldn't, if that was like, if that was like an option, wouldn't most parents like take a little bit of abortion thingies and in like their food and stuff like that, so like their babies could be like special, quote unquote. I don't know. It may just be because it's Paul's children and Paul's weird as shit. But yeah. Anyway, like I totally forgot where we was, and I'm not going back to watch what I just filmed. I don't even think that's possible for the moment, at least. But anyway, it's about his children and Alia. Alia is Muad'Dib's sister, and yeah, like Jessica was pregnant with her during the first book, and the Alia is a pre-conscious child. Alia is very much like Paul in the in a way, like she's magical in a way. Like she can predict kind of the future. She has all these like um like dead family members like in her head. Like I like that's actually there, and like the closest thing I like of my understanding, the closest like the best way to explain that is like kind of DID, dissociative identity disorder, tongue tied. But yeah, like that's what I understand it as. Like a like minus like take away the like switching. I don't really remember what it's called, but like when in the ID, like when a person have the ID, like the different like personalities tend to like switch places, who fronts and stuff like that, and the others like is in this other world, like in the head, like in here. I'm really not the right person to talk about this. If you're curious about the like getting a more accurate this description of the ID, um, I would advise you to go to dissociative, like dissociate, dissociated. No, wait. Shit. I'm sorry. My computer kind of turned off there. My computer is kind of shit for the moment. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'll be anyway. It's no, it's dissociated, I think. Wait. Oh yeah, it's dissociated. There are they are a whole system with yeah, it's this persons people that have the ID, and they will explain this much better than me. But yeah, anyway, back to the Dune book. Like the amount of people like that lives inside the Paul's head and the like Alia's head, like the closest thing I can describe it as is like the ID, as far as I understood it, at least. But yeah, it's like a whole bunch of people like that have died in the family and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, it's weird. It's kind of weird. Like I I don't really know what that adds to it. Like why there would like why they would be there. Like we don't really get an explanation to like yeah sure like these these assholes have magic powers, but when does the ancestors come in? When does the ancestors come in? How does that like Jessica don't have them? Jessica don't have them. None like no Ben Gesserit has them. Why does that only happen? Like sure, like, they're a bit different, but I shouldn't get so like worked up with this. These are books that came out in like mid to late 90s. But yeah, like we don't really get an explanation to when like the spirit, like kind of the spirits of the ancestors come in and like, yes, we're just gonna like in like we're going to I'm just curious to what kind of power like caused that, because like Paul had it kinda, and the like and Alia does definitely have it. No, wait, I did Paul have it? No, no, Paul didn't have that. Paul didn't have all the ancestors. It was Alia and it's Ganima and it's Little the Second, like pre-conscious children. Yeah, it's pre-conscious children that has this thing, and we don't know why. We don't get an explanation to where this stuff comes from. Like, yes, again, they're magic. Jessica's magic, Paul's magic, uh, alias some sort of magic. I actually, you know what? I don't think I've ever like. I don't remember her like. I don't remember anything about Alia's magic except like she has all the ancestors. I don't remember. Like they can just have skipped over that. But the thing that comes with the most with Alia is like the ancestors. Anyway, but like yeah, it's Alia, Ganima, and Leto the Second that has like these like ancestors in their like in their like heads, and like that they can yeah uh it doesn't really, we, as I've said, we don't really get like an explanation to what kind of magic caused them to be like, caused them to like have to like have like all their ancestors all like in here. Like it's something about like being an abomination or like pre-conscious, but we don't really understand why. Like when it comes to the Ben Gesserit witches, like it's like their powers comes with a lot of training, and like anyone can be a Ben Gesserit, but there's usually just like women who are Ben Gesserits. But yeah, like becoming a Ben Gesserit takes a lot of training, and like it's kind of like a workout. Or like when it comes to reading or writing, like it's like anything like that. It's something you learn. When it comes to this, like it's something you're just born with. We don't really get an explanation to it. Like yet again, like when it comes to Alia, I guess it's like an effect of like this poison, this type of poison they had Jessica take, like when Alia was still in Jessica's womb. But when it comes to like Leto and Ganima, we don't really get an explanation to that. Like I don't even think they were pre-conscious. It was just something that happened in like the end of the second book when they were born. Like they just got some like a board, like something that would like give the Paul's side piece like an abortion. So like they would like I have absolutely no idea how the hell like this stuff works. I don't know shit about abortions. Wait. Hi again. I'm sorry. It was something. They anyway. But like, yeah, we were talking about like the ancestors in like, yeah, I don't really get that, and we have no like explanation for that either. But yeah, like there's and these ancestor things, like they're like they're kind of bad. Like Alia has these ancestor things, and she turned out crazy. Like she, like as I said, Alias, we don't like Alia. We don't like Alia because she turns out to be a bitch. Like she's legitimately like possessed, like in these books. Like no, and the Leto the second. Like I'm on the like fourth book now. No, yeah, like he turned out to be like a bitch. So yeah, it's definitely something with the preborn. So which I don't really trust. There's also something in like the fourth book that's like that we have jumped like 3,500 years like in the future, like from this book. So like and like Leto the second is still alive, and there's a whole thing about that in like the end of the third book and now during the fourth book, and like it's anyway, and like Leto's alive and thriving, quote unquote, and he's become a real ass tyrant. I don't really know if you say it like that, but second English second language. Anyway, but like he became so much worse than like Vladimir Harkonnen. He became so much worse. I I'd rather have a Vladimir Harkonnen than Leto. Like, and on top of that, like he's turning into a legitimate sandworm. Like, okay, Google like Leto the second, and it will come up a bunch of like pictures of him. Oh my god! Oh! I just realized, like, this thing exists, and I pray to God that someone haven't done any like most things like no. Bad thought. You know what? I'm gonna shake it. Uh, 34. Uh, okay, wait, hold up. Well, I know there must be something. Leto 2. Yeah, okay, that. Yeah, it was nothing. Thank God. It was nothing on there. I legitimately thought that there would be something on Rule 34 about like, okay, like at the end of this book, like the Children of Dune, Leto the second like accepts like some sort of new skin out of like really small like type of worms that will eventually be like sandworms, but I think they're like as big as the palm of your hand, like the babies, like baby sandworms. And like he accepted, like it's weird, but they created some sort of new skin while still alive. It's weird, but sure. And this thing like kind of transformed Leto into like he's going like he's transforming into this type of sandworm, and this new skin is kind of like the reason why he's been able to live so long. I mean, you don't live over 3,000 years without something being like. But yeah, anyway, this new skin, like, it's made him like 7 feet tall, which is a big no-no. And he's like covered in this grayish, leathery thing. And in the fourth book, he's like rolling around in this big like thing, because his feet had like transformed into some type of flippers or something, and are now completely useless. And like he's still 7 feet tall, which is scary. Like this big dude, like this big gray leathery dude with like flippers for feet, and who's like 3,000 years old, and also a fucking tyrant. Like also a fucking, he will kill you. He will legitimately kill you for like one small like for cooking his eggs wrong. He will kill you because of that. Or if you like, it's kind of scary. And like, sure, he's Muad'Dib's son. No, he's not even that anymore. Like, I don't like it. But like, there's like just Google Leto the second, and you will like see what he's turned into. Because in the fourth book, okay, in the book, like he's described as turned something like he's not human anymore, and like that's just a boo-hoo. I'm so sad. But like, okay, first of all, being human wasn't that great to begin with. But if this is the alternative, like if what Leto has turned into is the only alternative, I'd rather be human, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather be human. But yeah, it's a whole weird situation, and like they're also cloning Duncan Idaho. They're also cloning. It's a whole drug trip. Like it's like you understand it when you like read the other books, but it's a drug trip just like from an outside perspective. This is I really think I'm starting to get like sick or something. I feel shit, and this is not helping. This is way too much for me. I should not be as worked up about this as I am. Like, I need to calm down. But yeah, this whole thing is weird. Like, the first book, yeah, sure. The second book, trash. The third book only gets good at the end. Like, not because it's like ending, but it's that it gets pretty good at the end. And the fourth book is like, yeah, I can. This is like the same energy from the first book, just that Leto's a bitch and stuff like that. And a giant 7 feet humanoid sandworm. Like, yeah, I shouldn't. Like, it's starting. It's kind of like Resident Evil, like the first game, and like the first few games, like good, like 5 and 6 trash, and the the games coming after that's good. Like, it's kind of the same with this, but like, yeah, I I definitely recommend reading it. Like, yeah, a drug trip, but it's a drug trip worth taking in the end, I would say. I haven't read all the books yet. I still have like 2 books left after this one. But yeah, I would quite recommend it. But yeah, I should probably end this video here. It was nice ranting about this. Like, I was just going to do a review of Children of Dune, but it ended up like I don't know what it feels like an hour rant. It's probably an hour. I have absolutely no idea how long this thing took, but yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry for anyone watching this, but you did, like, you clicked on the video, you did this to yourself. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, and please be careful and don't get sick like me, please. Anyway, bye.